and welcome everybody. Come on in and grab a seat at the bar. I'm your Photo Happy Hour bartender, Michael Mowbray. Joining me behind the bar are my fellow bartenders, Dan Frievalt and Carl Caylor.
Hello.
Come on down.
Hello.
I know we're having a circus today.
That's the music for the Wheel of Fortune. Or,
Oh.
No, Price is Right. That's it.
Price is Right. There we go.
That's one of them ones.
One of those game shows. Yeah.
Hey, folks, we're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff today. What it is, we have no idea yet.
We have no idea. We just, I think we decided on a topic like a minute ago. Anyway, So if you're joining us for the first time, the premise of this podcast is we are three professional photographers who have been around for a while. We all have our master degrees and various other degrees, and I don't know, it's about 10 degrees outside here. But we like to get together. We have a few drinks virtually. Well, we drink for real, but we talk virtually. And we talk about photography. And every week we try to have a podcast with a topic. This is a podcast with a topic. And that topic is what?
Goals! Like in hockey and soccer and, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Football.
No.
Be like a goldfish.
Yeah. Swim.
Oh.
Swim. Keep on swimming and swimming. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Time out.
No, Carl doesn't get that reference because he hasn't watched Ted Lasso.
Oh, come on.
I have not.
Come on. We got to get him Apple TV or something. There's some good stuff on Apple TV.
You know
That's
what?
one of them.
I found out I have Apple TV. Didn't realize I had it.
What?
Yeah. I got
Okay.
one of those Apple thingies, and then I just never used
You got a
used
mission
it.
tonight. You got to go watch Ted Lasso
Ted Lasso? Okay.
and just binge it.
And the Olympics. Okay.
He's got an apple with like a rabbit ears. He sticks into the apple.
Yeah.
That's his Apple TV.
Yeah. That's the Apple TV. Got it. So, I know I have to watch the Olympics a little bit tonight because this will kind of go into our topic of goals. My aunt sent me this message today. She's like, hey, I just saw the interview of the biathlete from Pulaski. You probably know the family. I'm like, no, I had no idea. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sure enough, this woman that graduated from Pulaski ended up going to Michigan Tech, working towards her athletic training degree, very similar to my daughter's degree. Ran cross country with them, and then went out to Idaho and got into the biathlon type of situation. And lo and behold, had her best goal-shattering place yesterday in the Olympics, placed 7th in the Olympics.
Wow.
I think like in the 50s or whatever, is the best she's ever placed in events in the past. So she just shattered her goals apparently. So it was kind of interesting, pretty cool stuff.
That's awesome. Usually it's like all Norway winning that, isn't it?
Norway and yes, it's Switzerland.
'Cause that's
a
the
little
one
bit,
where you
but-
ski and shoot stuff,
and
right?
shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they do in
So-
Norway is they ski around and shoot stuff.
So you do that up here too, but then you get in trouble for it because you're not supposed to shoot the signs,
I'm like the Game of Thrones. I drink and I know things.
There you go.
Would be more like snowshoeing. It's like snowshoeing and drinking and shooting. Snowshoeing, drinking, and shooting. That should be a sport.
We could do
It
that.
should be a sport.
What do we call it though?
Wisconsinites would rule.
Yeah, exactly. And Upper Michigan people, but they're on a whole different level.
Hey, I have something before we get heavily into our topic, which actually we have to get into our topic, but hey, we have news. We have a new sponsor this week. Our sponsor is the Professional Photographers of Iowa.
Oh, a fun group.
Iowa.
Yeah,
it's
Iowa.
fun down there. Iowa.
Iowa.
And here's what they want you to know. They want you to know that the PPI, Professional Photographers of Iowa, PPI, Winter Convention is March 18th through 21st in Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines.
Wouldn't be in Des Moines, South Dakota. This is the year to level up your business. Join fellow photographers for top-notch education from some of the best educators in our industry, such as Tom Rouse, Kimberly Smith, Chris Woolley, Alex Charisma, and Corey McDonald, and more. That's a good lineup.
There's a lineup.
Yeah, no kidding. All photographers are welcome to register and attend this in-person event. It's not required to be a member, so you don't need to wear your members-only jacket. Other features of this event include multiple opportunities for networking, a vendor trade show, print competition, and an awards banquet. Not only that, but there's a costume party shootout with 3 shooting bays to get creative and learn hands-on in a fun, casual atmosphere. For more information, go to PPE Iowa. That's pp+iowa.com.
Without the plus.
Without the plus. PP Iowa.
And
Wow,
going
that's
to
quite the
conventions, that's a great lineup, and I'm bummed that I'm going to be gone. Well, kind of. I'll be in Mexico, so I won't be that heartbroken. But I did see that lineup. I'm like, man, I would like to go to that. And that does tie in with goals, because education will help you achieve your goals.
That should be one of the goals, to get more educated. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago. I don't remember. Recently. A while.
Lately.
So goals. What do you guys want to say about goals? Let's talk about goals.
Should we do business first, or photography, or what do you want to do?
Anything.
Well, let's just talk goals in general, because I think there's some crazy stat that, like, if you just write it down, you're 42% more likely for it to actually happen. Like, if you just think it, as compared to just like, I want to, make $100,000 this year. It's like weird, just that putting it on paper gives you a greater chance of it happening. It's like a proven stat. Don't quote me on the number, but I think it's like a 42%.
No, it's 40. It's actually 43.64%.
Well, okay, yeah, I got you.
Just work
with me.
Here's the thing.
My goal is to write it down to get it from 42 to 43.64%.
That's right. If you're going to make up a statistic, you just take it to the decimal point. That's my rule.
Okay,
That's
all right.
That's a good point. Good point.
I'll continue on that a little bit, though. Not just write it down, but write it down every day. I know back in high school, when I had daily goals of, during wrestling season, making sure you make weight and making sure that you get everything done.
Spit at least
as far
one
as
glass.
schoolwork. Yeah, I'd never spit. I'd run before I spit. Never spit. Extra laps always. Spitting, not a chance. But it did. It makes, just write it down once. It's kind of like advertising. If you just throw an advertisement out once, you're just kind of throwing your money away. But you got to hit it and hit it and hit it and hit it. And it's the same thing with your goals. Writing it down once isn't going to mean a whole lot. But if you every day make a checklist and check off what you need to do to accomplish those goals, even if you've already done it, just check that one, and you can check it again the next day, and you can check it again the next day, and then add another box and then on the next week, and another box the next week. But by doing it daily, I think you seem to stay on track a lot more, stay more organized and focused, and achieve the goals a lot better, especially the bigger
all work
goals.
And no play makes Jack. How does it go? All work and no play makes Jack. Is it Jack? I'm trying to quote.
Jack.
That was a Jack. Okay.
And it was who said it too? Was it a Jack Nicholson that said it in the movie?
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Michael on
I always
that
remember
reference.
Yeah, I was just
right.
Right on by me. I was just thinking. I always remember BHAG, which is a big, hairy, audacious goal, or I always called it a big, hairy ass goal. But you gotta have some of those out there.
There is a visual for you.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta have some big, audacious goals somewhere in your life.
Yeah.
I want to be, on the cover of PPA magazine. I want to be the premier senior portrait photographer in Idaho, or whatever it's going to be. Put something out like that out there, and then like Carl was saying and Dan was saying, you got to have the interim steps to get there too, and think that through. But set those goals pretty high.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised at how far you can get.
Daily words of affirmation.
It's absolutely, yeah. But just kind of the opposite direction, but in the same analogy. When we shoot archery, we think you aim small, you miss small. Okay, so if you, in other words, don't aim at the target, aim at a little spot on the target. And that way, if you miss by this much, you're still like right in there. But if you have small goals then you have small results. If you have big goals, if you miss it by just a little bit, you're still very successful in that venture, or very possibly successful in that venture. So think big.
You're saying if I shoot archery, I should get a really, really big target?
Yes, Michael, you should.
Okay.
I haven't seen you shoot a bow before, but I've seen you shoot.
I've shot a bow, my friend. I was at the Renaissance Fair.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh.
All the kids around me. Ding, ding, ding. Me.
Split the arrow. There you go.
Split there.
Right in the hay bale.
Oh my!
Little known fact: I have a Robin Hood, so that's my achievement with archery. So if you don't know what a Robin Hood is, it's when you
took from the rich and gave to the poor. Is that what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole different topic. We should bring that up. We should
hung out with
Little
John.
I wore green tights.
You.
Oh, it reminds me of a story about Ryan Guller. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That was a fun night at Wisconsin convention that I'll never forget.
That was bizarre.
Speaking of education.
Yes.
Wow. But here, I was kind of saying this beforehand, before we started and got on. The other end of the goal spectrum. I've had pretty lofty goals, and a lot of things I've achieved and a lot of things I haven't. I'm still working on it. My problem lately, I've noticed as I'm getting old and older, man, when you really push for a specific goal and get the blinders on, there's nothing else matters, and it's just this, and you focus and you move and you reach towards it, and you finally accomplish that goal, and you're like,
what do I do now?
And then exactly, now what? And you're just sliding on the ice on your butt for the next year and a half with no direction. And I think you have to be careful with goals that doesn't happen, and it has happened. I mean, sure, it's happened to all of us. I can't be the only one, right? But I think it's important then to not just have one goal in your life. Have different things, different directions, and sometimes that goal might be another hobby, or another activity, so that at least you have something else that is driving you. So you're not just
fulfilling you.
Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna sit on the couch for the next. Right. Yeah, you need that driving factor, and
you're all wrapped up in one thing, and then when you get that one thing, you're like, what do I do now? I think about that we're right in the middle of the Olympics right now. I think about that with the Olympic athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They're singular minded. They're going after, and they get gold. I got a feeling that it's so exhilarating, but they probably feel the same thing. It's like, what do I do now?
Now what?
What am I going to do tomorrow?
Notice some of them, it drives them even more. It builds them up, and it's like, oh no, I'm anxious. I want it. Let's do this more, and it pumps them up. And others are like, oh, we got over the ledge, and now I'm going to coast. Don't coast.
Right. Well, you see that with Super Bowl teams. You see some of those teams that they fight and they make it to the Super Bowl and they win, and then they're favored the next year and they don't get there.
And the next year, and they don't get there. And the next year.
I think we're talking about
the
Packers.
We're
talking about a lot of other teams.
Yeah. And along those same lines, try to be cautious, because there was a lot of goals I had, and I was so focused on them that I let other things kind of slip away from me that were important. And you still need to keep aware of those things too. Don't get so wrapped up in goals or materialistic type things that it takes you away from other things that are important, their friends and your family and spouses, things like that, because that can be a nasty downward kind of spiral. And then what happens, when that's all gone, what do you have? A bunch of awards? How important is that if you don't have things that are important to you? So and I think, along with Carl, what Carl was saying, I got this planner a couple years ago, and it's not just goals you write down every day, but it was like you write down like 3 things you were like grateful for, to start the day off. It's positive affirmations. And then like 3 things you want to accomplish. Then if you accomplish those 3 things, how would you feel? And then at the end of the day, it's like, hey, did you get those accomplished? If not, no big deal. But what did you get accomplished? And because I think a lot of times when we think goals or we think what we're doing, it's like we need to like achieve all this stuff. And, it could be as simple as, I got back to that person that I kept forgetting to get back to, or I
returned a message today.
I returned a message. There's a other real famous saying of this. That's why in the military they have you make your bed perfect every day, because it's a habit and it's something of accomplishment. It's like if you didn't get anything done the whole day, if you accomplish 0, at least you can say, you know what, I made my bed. I accomplished something. So you start off on the right foot, and it doesn't. Like even in the SU Insiders group, we try and talk a lot about like small wins. Like, what are your small wins? Because I know I get caught up in, what are the big things happening? And you forget the little things that are so important. Or something big happens, you're like, that's awesome. Like Carl said, you celebrate, and then you're like, okay, what's next? It's like, suck it in, absorb it a little bit, appreciate it before you're like, what's next? Yeah. So.
I was holding up like my daily to-do list. I still do old school on that. I'm electronic on everything else, but I still write things down. Yep. And a trap I get into kind of along the lines with that is I'll write a bunch of things down, and I'll get towards the end of the day, and I'll feel like, man, I didn't get anything done. But what you have to realize is 2 things. One is that not everything on your list has equal weight. You may have written down 10 things to do, but 2 of those maybe half-day chores or things that are going to take hours, and a lot of them may be like 10 minutes or 1 minute or whatever, so be aware of that. And also in our business and in my business, I'll start off with all the intentions to do these 10 things today, and I get 1 phone call and everything changes. Done.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So the other thing I've learned to do to make myself feel a little bit better is, as everything got diverted, I'll add those things to the list so I can at least cross them off.
So you can cross it off, yeah.
So I feel like I accomplished something,
Yeah.
Good idea.
Otherwise, I look at this list and it's like, damn, I didn't get anything done. It's like, no, I did. I did this, and I did that, and I did this. Write it down. Cross it off. It sounds simple, but it feels good.
Yeah. And that satisfaction of crossing something off.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm kind of, we all, feel that pain that you were talked about. But the other thing I tend to do sometimes is like, shoot, I didn't get anything done because I kept getting sidetracked. And I look at my list. I'm like, oh, I can quick get these 2 things done. And so then at least I can feel good that I got something done. But I do like that idea. I've heard that before too. And sometimes I don't do that. But it's like, okay, I did get this. Write it down and then cross it out. That's a good tip.
I think it's especially important to think about that and understand that for most of us, and most of you that are listening, I'm sure, are your sole person in your business. A lot of us, we're it. A couple of us have assistants and maybe a part-time staff or something like that. But when you're running your own business or you're working out of your home, especially, to stay on task, write it down, have a checklist and follow it. And like, I love the idea of just all the interruptions you get. Make sure you put those down too, so you get successful feelings throughout the day. But, it's funny, pat yourself on the back, because the majority of the world cannot keep it together to work on their own without supervision.
That's really hard.
My wife is in human resources, and she deals with 500-600 workers, 700 I guess workers, and I'm here to tell you, there's managers for a reason, there's heads of department for a reason, because most people can't keep it together to keep on schedule to finish goals from day to day, week to week, annually, or anything like that. So pat yourself on the back. You're doing a really good job compared to the rest of the world right now, to say the least. So at least we got that going for us.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and for several years I hired a guy to run my Facebook ads, and as well as we did like daily calls, and it was just a 5-minute call, but it just kind of get like, okay, I'm gonna get this done. Not daily, sorry, weekly calls. But it just kind of like, okay, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. we jumped on a call. It was like 15 minutes, but it kind of like, okay, what are you working on? Especially because I have so many ideas. Oh, I want to do this. Squirrel. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I got this. Yeah. It's like, get this, and done. And that's what you focus on for the week. It's like, yeah, okay. And then follow up. What'd you get? Okay, I got this done. I got sidetracked here. Okay, let's refocus. And yeah, just talking it through with a third party sometimes helps. I know us three kind of do that. Sometimes it's like throw it in a messenger like, hey, blah, 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 So if you don't have like a network, just of friends or just a few people where you can just kind of call up real quick, or, it's a lot cheaper than hiring someone to do it.
Absolutely. By the way, that Colorado thing today was dang hilarious.
Well, yeah, we spend a lot of time with
yes.
memes and videos and stuff too. But I guess
what was it? The woodchucks or beavers on the
curling. What are those
stones?
Oh
my God, that was beautiful.
Canadians take gold.
Take gold.
Take gold.
Well, and this is because we all have to set our own schedules, create our own activities, our own goals, and what we're trying to do. And this is a tricky one. But this was my Friday. I had a lot of I'm looking at I flipped back to my list on Friday. I had 9 things to do, and I crossed off 4. Okay, so it doesn't feel like a very productive day. But I'm going to describe what I ended up doing that day. I shifted directions, and you got to give yourself permission to shift directions on occasion. If you do it all the time, you're not going to get anything done. You're going to be running around like a squirrel. But I did a fashion shoot on Thursday, testing out a new modifier for MoLight.
Which looked great, by the way.
Thank you.
Awesome. Beautiful. Yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay, I'll work on these next week. Oh, no. The next day, I'm like,
yeah. I should... Kid in a candy store.
Yeah, I should at least download these, right? So I'll just download those. So I download them, and the previews come up, and I'm like, oh, those are pretty good. Oh, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? And before you know it, I grabbed like a handful of them, and I'm like, God, these look great just right out of the camera. Oh, let's just process these out. We'll create a Facebook post about how good this stuff looks straight out of the camera. I'm like, well, I can't do that because people are going to be asking about this new modifier. Okay, well, I guess I got to put it on the website. Okay, I got to get all the photos. Oh, I got to write all the copy. I got to put all this stuff together. So I did all that stuff, and then put it up on the store, wrote the post, put all the stuff up, and then you know what happens if you put up a post where it's got some good images in it. Everybody's got questions. So then I spent like
where'd you get that dress?
Oh well, where'd you get those blocks?
And do they come in black? I'm just wondering because
Oh my God! I was about ready to kill people. Yeah.
That's what you get out of this. I mean, look at the light, people. Look at the light. Jesus Christ!
Killer fashion images, beautiful model, fantastic makeup, great wardrobe. Lighting was just
Where'd you get those
on.
Props?
It's like, where did you get the props? And I was like,
I missed that.
Oh it's beautiful.
I knew better than to look at the comments. I just looked at the images. Like, those are awesome.
I think I did reply at one point. I said, "You guys are killing me."
Oh boy. Well, along those lines, I used to do this trick when I would do creative shoots for myself. I would have that kind of like the carrot that I would dangle at the end of the night, that I would work on those. But first, I had to get this stuff done. So it's a little bit different from what you were just talking about. But for me, it was like, I'm going to process these orders and place this and retouch that and get all this done. And then my reward is to work on those images.
Yeah, I got to eat the candy right away.
Yeah, see, that motivates me. That pushed me to get that stuff done. Otherwise, if I just worked on that, I would just work on it and the other stuff would never happen. So it's kind of like that motivation to make sure I got that stuff done first and then reward myself at the end.
You've been a good boy. Now you can have a cupcake.
Now I can have yeah.
Wait a minute. There's cupcakes? I didn't get a cupcake.
Not anymore. Oh. Not in Peloton Stephanie land.
Yeah.
Dan, I'll bring you a cupcake or maybe a muffin. Actually, no, I'm bringing you ribeyes. I'm
going to be bringing. I think I'll get some slice and bake cookies for when we're down at Sink too. Again.
Oh yeah, you did it one year.
Yeah, those are good.
That was.
I don't know. I ate most of them, so that's all I know.
I got.
So
the
here's
trick
an.
Penang. It's gonna be awesome.
Here's another trick that I've used for achieving goals, other than just writing them down, is to kind of what I was just talking about as far as like reward yourself with something. So, have something. I wanted to go to Italy, and this was back in the day when Kevin Kubota would have those trips to Italy, and that was my goal.
Sure.
I'm like, man, I wanted to go with Kevin Kubota to Italy. And so what I did is on one of his handouts when he spoke in Wisconsin, it was the picture of Italy. It's just beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I put that up on above my computer, and it's like, someday I'm going to make enough money to pay to go on that trip. Well, I never went with Kubota, but I ended up going. My wife and I went to Italy, so I kind of still fulfilled that dream, and it actually was better, in my opinion, because I had got
Because
to
you got paid for it.
I get to get photograph a senior, and it was.
And
it
you
was a
didn't have
great
to
trip.
hang with Kevin Kubota. Not
I
that
didn't
it's Kevin.
So yeah, doing stuff like that. There's other goals. I set a financial goal. If I hit that, I was going to buy myself a Jeep Wrangler, just to buzz around in for the summer. So that I did, and actually I hit that goal twice. Because the first time I hit it, I'm like, I don't really need a Jeep. That's a waste of money. I don't. Yeah. So then, like,
you need a Jeep?
when I hit the goal again, I'm like, nope, I'm getting that stinking Jeep. And so. So yeah,
And then I'm
I
going to
just
get a
said
Raptor. And then I went and looked at Raptors, and I'm like, I'm not going to get a Raptor.
I'm not going to get a Raptor. Yeah, and sometimes it's like you set those goals, and you're like, that's stupid. I just made this money. I don't want to waste it on this, yeah, which is similar because I just set a goal recently, and it was like I was going to get like a bottle of wine that what is it? Calamus Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
It's like $85 or $100 for the bottle of wine. I'm like, oh, that would be my goal. But I'm like, if I hit that goal, same thing. I'm like, I'm not going to spend that amount of money for wine. That's a waste of money. But we've done fun meals at Sink and
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Marlins.
different things.
Marlins was a good reward.
And it's like, hey, we're going to do this. Yeah. We're going to do that.
Here's one for
Texas
you.
school that 1 year we did.
Yeah, that was at. We had to go across the highway at Whataburger. Remember?
Was it
Yeah,
that or In and Out?
absolutely. It was a 5-decker, guys. They have
Was it
5
Whataburger
patties in that
down
sucker.
Yeah.
Was it
But wasn't
Whataburger
it-
or what was it?
Or
What was it
Five
called?
Guys or In and Out?
No, it's not
or...
In-N-Out Burger. That's what it
Oh,
was.
okay.
Was it In and Out? Okay.
Either Whataburger or In-N-Out or something like that. But 5 patties on that thing. It was huge. I couldn't. I'm like, it was awesome.
Have you guys been to Five Guys? I mean, it's kind of a
good
cool
fries.
experience. I was just talking about this with my son the other day, but it's like, I like a Culver's better, Butterburger better
but
than
it's
Five
a good
Guys.
business model.
It is.
It's different, and I mean, it's all about. I mean, the fries are awesome. Get a bag of fries and go nuts. But the model of going through and the peanuts on the floor and the sacks of peanuts right there waiting for as you walk by, that kind of divides the lineup. I think that's a brilliant idea.
I have a theory on that, and it's like a total business thing. The reason why they have the peanuts there is so they don't have to clean the floor.
Oh, absolutely. If
You don't know how dirty the floor is.
Yeah. Every night you just sweep it out once and start over the next day.
Same thing with Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse does the same thing. Mm-hmm.
True. In Mexico, they have sawdust on the floor because
that's to soak up the blood.
You soak up the blood, the sweat.
Sand.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're going there again soon. Good luck.
Yeah.
So here's one for you with goals. It's depending on the goal, and I already said that pat yourself on the back. We do real well as a whole. Keeping ourselves online and in track during our business day, but sometimes you need that somebody watching over your shoulder, and that's why I really like social media. So when we're planning on going out west, chasing elk around the mountains, we don't want to have anybody in our group that's not actually ready for it, because it can be dangerous. And so we track our workouts daily. What did you do today? I walked 2 miles with 100 pounds on my back today. I did the stairs at Pine Mountain 4 times today. What did you do? Just to keep track. It's not a bad idea to have training partners, and whether it's athletics or business or photography, it comes in handy having that other person that you can make sure you're staying on track. So don't be afraid of grabbing
accountability
3 or 4 friends
partners.
Accountability, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And right now with social media, it's so easy. Make a Facebook group and just have tabs on everybody every day.
Does it count if I put my Apple Watch on Benji and let him run around, and that tracks the...
I'm going to check the strides, I'm telling you.
I admit to being awake and it being like 11:55, and I'm just short of 10,000 steps on my Fitbit, and I know I've done this.
Yeah. Well, my wife, where my wife works, they used to have their insurance group that they had been part of gave you benefits if you had X amount of steps or whatever. So they all had this ped that they tied to their shoe before the iWatches and everything came out.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
So they sit there at their desk and swing their feet.
They're moving.
So all of a sudden, everybody swung their feet at their desk. And I'm like, what the hell is that all about? But oh my gosh! But yeah, times have changed, technology has changed. But have accountability partners, and that helps you raise goals or achieve goals in a big way. Nobody does everything on their own. No athlete, no business person, no anybody. Get help. Have people that that you can count on, and not people are going to make it easy on you. Find the ugliest, meanest little bugger that's going to push you, and make them your accountability partner. And that's why I got these guys, because we got ugly and we got
ugly and mean.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Take your pick of who fills what role.
Exactly.
Well, so along those lines, I heard this once, and I don't like this. I don't like this principle, but it might work for some people, so I'll throw it out there. If you don't have anyone, I like your idea of having someone to be accountable to, but let's say you don't. So their theory is you pick a charity or some sort of organization that you completely dislike. You write out a check to that organization for, let's say, $1,000. If you don't reach your goal, you have to mail that check. So it's like kind of what you said, someone that you hate pushing you. It's like, it's accountability. I do not want this XYZ to get this money. So what am I going to do to make sure that doesn't happen? Again, I'm not sure where I heard that, but it sticks in my head. I'd never done it. I don't really recommend it, but maybe it'll help some people out there.
I think that charity for me right now would be the FedEx drivers charity fund. It's a long story there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. But you need, nobody does anything on their own. You need take help and use it. And on those same lines, as you're trying to achieve your goals, listen to people. Especially, but be careful who you're listening to. Take things with a grain of salt. So, if you post something on Facebook and expect honest answers from everybody, you're not going to get it. It might
don't
inflate your ego as far as likes are concerned, but you want somebody that's going to be truthful with you. And
so you're saying my 21-year-old life coach is not who I should be looking
depends on who that
life coaching.
I don't know if it was my daughter that's your 21-year-old life coach, I would say, listen to her, because dang, she's a tough little runt, but not everybody, no. Choose wisely.
That's
Make good
advice.
Decisions.
Make good decisions.
So to kind of sum everything up. Oh, I was going to sum everything up.
Michael,
are you going to sum it? No, I was just going to elaborate on that, because it's like I did make a joke on it, but you know what? If it doesn't matter your experience if that person does motivate you and that person doesn't get you to the goals you're getting at. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just sometimes I see that like, well, what kind of life have you lived? You're only 21 years old, you know, but I shouldn't discount it because, you know, if there's people who have trained in coaching and would know more than someone who's 80 years old and is wise. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's sum it. That would be my closing summing shot.
I forgot what I was going to say. All right, to sum it up, have goals. It's great to have some big goals. Yeah, have some small goals too. Have them in all aspects of your life, not just business, not just financial, not just material. Have them in your interpersonal relationships. Have them throughout your life.
Healthy mind, body, soul.
Soul.
Get some help to help make you. What's the
accountability?
Word? Accountability. Yeah, I knew it began with an A. I'm almost done with my scotch, so I was doing pretty good. And then track your progress and celebrate the wins.
And
do it again. And
go to Iowa.
And go to, yeah, that was my transition. Okay. Yeah, and then, of course, the Photo Happy Hour has been brought to you by Professional Photographers of Iowa. Please check out their upcoming convention, March 18th through the 21st in Des Moines. That's in Iowa, believe it or not. It's in the middle of Iowa. For more info, go to PP Iowa. That's PP plus the word Iowa.com. Yes, PPIowa.com. That's PPIOWA.com. And we always said Iowa stood for Iowa owes Wisconsin a lot. So that was the acronym. Anyway.
But Des Moines ends with an S, right?
You must be
just
from
like
Illinois.
Illinois and Des Moines. You're like,
yeah.
Don't go to Illinois, go to Des Moines.
That was a big pause. That must mean we're done. All right, guys. It's been fun.
Cheers.
We'll see you probably in, it might be, I don't know if we'll get another one in before sync. So it might be.
My schedule's going to be pretty tough for that.
Yeah, same here. So might be a couple of weeks. We'll talk to you again. So until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Travel safe.
You don't know the power of this podcast. You must obey me and subscribe. When I first started listening, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Subscribe now. It is useless to resist.